Sean Strickland recently addressed the ongoing rumors regarding a potential matchup with Anthony "Fluffy" Hernandez at UFC 325 in Australia. After completing his suspension stemming from an altercation at a Tough Enough event, Strickland confirmed that he is ready to return to competition, just not overseas. Reports in November suggested he would be part of the Australian card in January, but Strickland publicly denied those claims in a video posted to Instagram. According to Strickland, both he and Hernandez declined the bout due to issues related to health insurance. He explained that fighting outside the United States would force him to give up a significant portion of his earnings to cover medical costs, which he is unwilling to do. Despite this, he emphasized that he is still interested in facing Hernandez, provided the fight takes place in the United States. Strickland spoke candidly about his suspension, admitting that it was frustrating but insisting he does not regret the altercation that led to it. He joked about needing 8 to 10 weeks to get back into top shape, acknowledging that he is currently carrying some extra weight. Strickland expressed enthusiasm for returning to the octagon and reiterated that while he respects Australian fans, he cannot justify fighting internationally without proper insurance coverage. He also shared his views on the state of the middleweight division, describing it as on ice. Strickland referenced Khamzat Chimaev's ongoing commitments, including Ramadan, surgery, and a scheduling timeline he believes is too prolonged. He suggested that the division is stagnant as a result and even commented that pursuing opportunities at light heavyweight might offer him a clearer path than waiting for the middleweight picture to develop. In his typical outspoken fashion, he criticized the delays and expressed frustration with what he perceives as a lack of activity among top contenders. Despite the uncertainty, Strickland remains eager to return and is optimistic about securing a fight in the near future. He thanked fans for their continued support and expressed excitement about getting back to work and competing again. He closed by reaffirming his interest in the Hernandez fight, just not overseas, and encouraged fans to stay tuned for updates. Henry Cejudo has once again revealed that he intends to retire from mixed martial arts, marking what he says will be his final appearance inside the octagon. Speaking ahead of his upcoming bout against Peyton Talbot, Cejudo explained during an interview with MMA Media that this weekend's fight is expected to be his last, at least under normal circumstances. Since returning from his first retirement, Cejudo has struggled to regain his championship form and is currently on a 3-fight losing streak. Although he emphasized that he is ready to step away for good, he did leave the door slightly open for one potential exception. Cejudo stated that his competitive career has been long and demanding, stretching back to his early teenage years when he first began cutting weight and training at the highest levels. He mentioned that he believes he has achieved everything he set out to accomplish in combat sports, both as an Olympic gold medalist and as a 2-division UFC champion. Despite his love for competition, he made it clear that the physical, mental, and emotional toll of professional fighting has reached a point where he is ready to transition into a new chapter of his life. During the interview, Cejudo noted that he would only consider returning to the UFC if he were offered a major fight, specifically naming former flyweight champion Brandon Moreno as the one opponent who could tempt him back. He jokingly suggested that he might reconsider retirement if Dana White offered him a large-scale matchup against another high-profile Mexican fighter. However, he immediately emphasized that such a scenario is unlikely and that his focus is now shifting toward his personal life. Cejudo expressed a strong desire to spend more time with his family, particularly his young children, who he says constantly want to play with their father. He highlighted how much he values being present for them and how the responsibilities of training camps, weight cuts, and travel have kept him away more than he would like. He described finding a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment beyond fighting, suggesting that his priorities have evolved over time. While fans have grown accustomed to Cejudo's playful retirements and teases of comebacks, his tone this time appeared more sincere. Whether this marks the end of his competitive journey or simply another pause remains to be seen, but Cejudo insists that, for now, he is ready to walk away from the sport and invest fully in his life outside the cage. Islam Makhachev's next opponent may surprisingly be former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, according to comments made by Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz. In a recent interview, Abdelaziz stated that he plans to actively campaign for Usman to receive the next title shot. He argued that Usman's contributions to the UFC and his long-standing reputation make him a deserving contender despite his recent setbacks. Abdelaziz emphasized that Usman has always stepped up for the organization, claiming that Usman accepted a title fight offer last November and remains one of the most recognizable names in the division. He insisted that if Makhachev wants to build a lasting legacy, facing a fighter with Usman's stature would strengthen it. However, Abdelaziz's statement sparked immediate reaction from the MMA community, and the majority of fans and analysts strongly disagreed with his proposed matchup. Critics pointed out that Usman has only one win since 2021 and has currently won 3 in his last 4 appearances, a record many feel does not justify a title opportunity. Several fans voiced frustration online, suggesting that Abdelaziz is pushing for the fight largely because he manages both Makhachev and Usman, which would financially benefit him. Many argued that Ian Gary is the more appropriate contender based on merit. Gary has remained active and continues to win consistently, making him the more logical choice for the next title shot. Fans noted that Gary has been steadily building momentum, while Usman has not secured enough recent victories to earn another championship fight. Some commenters even went as far as saying that no one, whether person, animal, or anything else, wants to see Makhachev versus Usman in 2025, criticizing the matchup as unearned and outdated. Others suggested that Shavkat Rakhmonov should be considered, given his dominant rise and impressive performances. Many believe both Rakhmonov and Gary represent fresh challenges for the champion, offering more excitement and competitive intrigue than a bout with Usman at this stage of his career. Despite Abdelaziz's efforts to advocate for his fighter, the overall sentiment from fans remains overwhelmingly opposed to the idea. They argue that legacy cannot be built by defeating an opponent several years removed from his prime, especially when more deserving contenders are waiting for their opportunity. As discussion continues, the debate over Makhachev's next challenger has become one of the most talked about topics in the division. Tyron Woodley has responded strongly to recent comments from Dana White regarding Kamaru Usman's standing in UFC history. For quite some time, White has repeatedly stated that Usman is the greatest welterweight of all time. This claim resurfaced again after Islam Makhachev's recent championship win at UFC 322, where White reaffirmed his belief that Usman is the welterweight GOAT. Woodley, who ruled the welterweight division from 2016 to 2018, rejected that assessment and offered a detailed explanation of why he believes White is wrong. In a conversation with MMA Fighting, Woodley asserted that Usman does not hold the title of greatest welterweight. He argued that his own path and reign were more difficult and more legitimate. Woodley explained that he dealt with significant issues behind the scenes, challenges he has never publicly discussed, yet he still managed to win consistently. He highlighted that he fought every top contender of his era, athletes who were highly skilled but not outspoken or promotional trash talkers. He pointed out opponents like Damian Maia, Robbie Lawler, and Stephen "Wonderboy" Thompson, all of whom presented serious threats without engaging in hype-driven marketing. He also noted that he faced rising contenders such as Usman, Colby Covington, and Darren Till, emphasizing that he never avoided tough matchups. Woodley went further, criticizing Usman's relationship with the UFC and suggesting that his status in Dana White's eyes is a result of loyalty and compliance rather than strictly competitive achievements. He claimed that Usman consistently sought to stay in White's good graces by appearing on his podcast, accepting every fight offered, and spending time around the UFC offices in Las Vegas to maintain a strong relationship with the promotion. Woodley argued that fighters who accept last-minute bouts, compete while injured, avoid disputes over pay, and refrain from questioning the organization often earn preferential treatment. He described this behavior as brown-nosing, and claimed that Usman has benefited from it more than any other welterweight. Despite his criticism, Woodley acknowledged Usman as a talented and accomplished fighter. Still, he firmly rejected the idea that Usman should be considered the greatest welterweight ever. He believes the conversation is far from settled and expects that Usman will eventually respond once the remarks reach him, suggesting this debate is likely to continue. Petr Yan has once again voiced his frustration over his controversial 2022 loss to Sean O'Malley, a decision that many fans still debate to this day. When O'Malley earned a razor-close victory over Yan in Abu Dhabi, a large portion of the MMA community believed the judges got it wrong. Some even accused the UFC of attempting to build O'Malley into a star by giving him a win he did not earn. Now, Gane himself is openly supporting that belief and openly criticizing both the decision and O'Malley's rise. In a recent interview, Gane dismissed the official result entirely, insisting that he clearly won the fight. He stated that the UFC deliberately awarded the victory to O'Malley because he was the fighter they wanted to promote. According to Gane, the organization pulled the fighter they wanted to be the victor, suggesting that O'Malley benefited from favoritism rather than performance. Gane questioned where O'Malley stands today and implied that his career has not lived up to the hype the UFC tried to generate. Gane emphasized that he is completely open to a rematch and believes the outcome would be very different the second time around. He made it clear that whenever the UFC chooses to revisit the matchup, he would gladly accept. His comments have reignited discussion among fans about the original fight and whether O'Malley truly deserved the victory. The debate now centers on whether a rematch would settle the controversy once and for all. With both fighters in different positions in their careers, a second meeting could provide clarity and potentially reshape the division. As fans continue to argue over who would win if the two meet again, Gane remains confident that he proved himself once, and would do so even more decisively in a rematch. Song Yudong took a playful jab at Sean O'Malley ahead of their upcoming fight at UFC 324 by posting a humorous skit on his Instagram. With tensions rising and anticipation building for their matchup, Yudong decided to lean into a more lighthearted approach, choosing to troll O'Malley rather than engage in traditional trash talk. In the skit, Yudong pretends to celebrate his birthday and jokingly thanks O'Malley for joining him. He captioned the post with, "Thank you, O'Malley, for celebrating my birthday with me," adding a comedic tone that quickly caught the attention of fans across social media. The video shows Yudong enjoying a mock birthday moment, followed by a playful rendition of "Happy Birthday to You," clearly intended to tease O'Malley in a light and entertaining way. The interaction has already sparked reactions from fans who appreciate Yudong's humor and his ability to build hype without hostility. With the fight approaching, the playful trolling adds an extra layer of personality to the matchup, making their upcoming clash even more intriguing. As UFC 324 gets closer, both fighters continue to draw attention, not just for their skills, but for the creative ways they engage each other outside the cage.